Hello and welcome back to Josh Oddie YouTube. Today we are going to be talking about a bowed left wrist, something that looks like this at the top of the backswing. Very similar to the likes of Dustin Johnson, Viktor Hovland. A lot of top players in the world do this move. But then you've also got the wrist in extension, which is quite popular with guys like Rory McIlroy, Bryson DeChambeau. You know, you name them, there's quite a few players that do this. So I'm going to bring you the benefits of two wrist patterns here, and hopefully you'll start to understand your swing on a much deeper level and understand what you do in your swing to match up with that wrist pattern. Okay, so let's talk about the bowed wrist pattern first. So someone that bows the wrist at the top, more than likely when they get down into P6 here, the face is going to be pretty closed. So what do these players have to do? They have to hold the angle off with the face. And how they do this is by side bending, holding the face off. And normally you see this pattern from someone that fades the ball. Really weird that the club face is closed, but it's someone that fades it, right? So then you go into the extension pattern. And what happens with this move is if I was just to bring this club down into P6, look how wide open that face is. So what do these players have to do? They have to knock that angle back off the face by releasing the club head. More than likely someone that draws the ball. So you've got two wrist patterns. Probably the bowed wrist player will be fading it, holding it off. The extension pattern is more than someone that releases the club face through the ball and hits probably a nice little draw. Now, both wrist patterns have the benefits. Someone that does bow the wrist hasn't really got to do a lot of manipulation in the downswing. You know, the angle's already set. They've just got to hold that angle off and get down to impact. But, you know, what comes to that, if you get that early release pattern with someone with a bowed wrist, that's going to turn into a quick left snap hook. But, you know, you also get the other side of it, which I used to do when I used to be bowed and pretty strong, was get down to here, but because the face was shut, I used to try and open it, right? So I had the high right and I had the quick left. I then go into a different wrist pattern of extension and find that I'm a lot more consistent when I actually just release the club face through the ball, and it just frees me up a lot more. You know, when I'm constantly fighting a strong club face and trying to hold, that for me just did not work. But you get guys like Viktor Hovland, Dustin Johnson that do it unbelievably. So it's whatever works for you, whatever wrist pattern matches your golf swing. I'm going to hit a few shots here with a few different wrist patterns, and we'll hopefully see the differences in the two. Okay, so let's go bowed left wrist on this one. And this is more than likely going to be a little butter cut. Yeah, just started down the left there. Didn't really open the face enough on that one. But as you can see, not a bad golf shot. Okay, so let's go wrist in extension. A little bit weaker with this one. And there we go. That is why I've gone to the wrist in extension. Just because it allows me to turn through the ball and just release everything a lot easier. Okay, so understanding them wrist patterns on a deeper level is just something that's going to help your game no end. Understanding why you hit a ball flight is one thing, and then hitting the ball flight is another. But if you know in your head that you're in that wrist flexion at the top and you're going to have to hold that angle to then hit that fade, that might be something that works for you. But for me, I've got a lot more power, a lot more consistency from getting in wrist extension at the top and then just releasing that club face back through. And I think that frees up my golf swing. When I was in wrist flexion, I was always fighting it. You know, I was trying to really hold that face, that strong angle, because I was afraid of the high right or quick left one. Whereas when I get into wrist extension, don't get me wrong, I still hit bad shots, but I feel a lot more freer through the golf ball. And you know, when you're releasing that club, it's almost like that there's nothing that you can control. It's all done by the body and just turning through. Whereas when I was fighting that left bowed wrist, you know, I felt like I had to really hold that off to produce my golf shot. So you know, definitely from wrist extension, I've found a lot more consistency, but it's all up and to your game and finding out what you do best. So if you did enjoy that video, please be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below if you did learn anything new. Let me know what you want to see next, and thank you all for watching. See you all for the next one.